Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission and joined now by Acadie-Bathurst Titan 20-year-old defenseman Cole Larkin. Cole, how excited are you and your teammates to get going, and what kind of team do you expect to have in Bathurst this year?
I'm really excited to get things going. I think we got a younger group of guys this year for sure, and we got a new coach and GM, but we're a really excited group, and I think we're going to have a good, solid team this year.
Do you see yourself as a big leader on this team, being one of the 20-year-olds?
Yeah, I think so, and I've been here the past 4.5 years. I kind of know what it's like to play in this league, and I'm just going to try and lead by example and be the best attribute I can to my team.
As we record this, Titan is still waiting on naming a captain, which is not uncommon in the Q these days, but you've worn an A the last 2 years. What did that mean to you to be given an alternate captain responsibility at 18?
I felt very lucky to get that A whenever I was 18. I was just trying to lead by example, have a hard-working mindset, and guess the coaching staff thought I was a good leader. So yeah, I was just trying to lead by example whenever I can and show the young guys how to work hard and be a good teammate.
You have been a lifelong Bathurst Titan in terms of your Q games played. A lot of people may not know or remember that you were actually drafted by Halifax, and you end up playing your 16-year-old season partially in Bathurst. What was your reaction upon getting traded from the Mooseheads to the Titan, and how much did that training camp experience in Halifax help you, despite the fact that that's not where you ended up playing in the Q?
That first training camp was obviously a big eye-opener for me. They had a really good team that year. They were hosting the Memorial Cup, so I was privileged enough to be at training camp with a bunch of really good hockey players. And then when I got the call there, traded to Bathurst, I was really excited to get things going. And they mentioned that they might get me up for Christmas. And then I did. I went up for Christmas my 16-year-old year, and everything worked out for the best.
You were also invited to St. Louis Blues training camp in 2021. How exciting was that experience? What did you learn from that?
That was a really cool experience. Just seeing the facilities at the NHL level, it's crazy. And just to see how they respect their bodies and the coaching staff there. Tried to take it all in, and it was a really cool experience.
You've been named Scholastic Player of the Month on multiple occasions. The Q, of course, prides itself on being a league that takes education seriously. How important is that to you?
Yeah, it's very important to me. I think it's really important because you never know what can happen in your hockey career, so it's always good to have a backup plan, and I take school very seriously.
Going back into the Titan history books, the franchise is a storied history even before Bathurst. Goes back to Rosemont in 1969. You have the streak for the most consecutive games for a defenseman for anyone that's played for this organization since the 60s. Were you aware of this, and what is the key to your durability?
I came aware of that at the end of last year, but I try not to think about it too much. I just try and take care of my body on and off the ice as much as I can, and I've been fortunate enough to be healthy and play all those games in a row there.
Being in Cape Breton, we saw a lot of your team last year, as well as Charlottetown and St. John, all strong teams. Just talk about that series with Charlottetown and the playoffs in general. Obviously not the result you wanted, but very competitive hockey.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really good series. Charlottetown, obviously, they had a very good team, and going in, we knew they were good, but we had a good team ourselves, so we just tried to go in there and play our style of hockey and play our game, and obviously, like you said, it didn't work out the way we wanted, but it was a very good series, and I enjoyed playing.
I'm sure another highlight of the playoff run, you find yourself in a do-or-die game in Halifax, a triple OT, you get the win. Was it the longest game you played, and what was the key to keeping the energy level up there?
That was a crazy game. Like you said, it was 3 extra periods. It was just kind of every period we come in, trying to stay hydrated, get a little bit of food into us, and go back out. We didn't really know when it was going to end, so just trying to take care of our bodies and get ready for the next period every time.
For those that haven't seen you play before, how would you describe Cole Larkin as a player?
I think I'm more of a defensive defenseman, obviously trying to implement more offense in my game, but I think I make a good first pass and play good defensively and have a good stick and tight gap.
For defensemen, we talk about this a lot. How do you try to balance that? Because obviously you don't want to put your team at a disadvantage, but you do want to contribute offense. How do you read the play to know when to jump in the rush?
I find it always depends on if we have, say, like a 3-on-2, and if there's a little bit of a hole, defenseman will always try and jump in that gap to make it a 4-on-2. So just little plays like that, you try and jump in the rush and get involved in the offense.
Reading up on you, you're a big country music guy, which I guess isn't surprising over in PEI, big culture of that. Has Cole Larkin been religiously attending all the big music festivals that have come to PEI the last few years?
Yeah, I find I'm always making my way out to the Cavendish Beach Music Festival every year. Past few years, actually, it's been canceled due to COVID, but this summer they had one, so I went out to that, and it was real fun.
Any dream artists that you think might make their way there that hasn't been there yet?
This year they actually had Luke Combs go there, so he was pretty special to see, and I've seen Luke Bryan once. It'd be cool to see Luke Bryan again, and maybe Eric Church again. Just big names like that, it's always fun to see.
This year in Cape Breton, we've seen Owen Arnold make his way to Sydney. Obviously plays the same position as you, kind of an odd man out in Bathurst. What can you tell us about Owen from your training camp experience? Did you ever pair up with him at any time?
No, I didn't spend the whole time with Owen. I was here about a week with him, but no, he's a real solid player. He's got a big frame, so you can use that to his advantage, and he's real good defensively as well. So nothing but good things for him.
You're in your 20-year-old season. Obviously, you're concentrating on the Q right now, but have you thought about what comes next following this year, given it is your last in the Q?
I haven't thought about it a whole lot, but I'm just keeping my options open. Maybe university hockey's in play, and then maybe even pro. You never know. So we'll figure that out whenever the time comes.
Fans in Bathurst have enjoyed watching your journey, a longtime member of the team, and one more year to come. Best of luck going forward, Cole. Thanks for this.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
That's Bathurst T10 defenseman Cole Larkin joining us on the intermission. You're listening to Cape Breton Eagles Hockey on 1270 CJCB.